do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top, if you bought, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making, thank you, sing. Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like medicine. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening.
Well, just 4 days after meeting in Toronto, AFC Toronto and the Calgary Wild are doing it all over again. Toronto won Tuesday's meeting 1-0 thanks to a Kaylee Hunter penalty. We're seeing that right here. She makes no mistake. The 18-year-old has been on fire lately. 6 goal contributions in the last 6 games. But while Toronto controlled much of that match, Calgary showed encouraging signs under new head coach Leah Blaney. And with some new faces in the lineup, they'll be gunning for their first win of the season today in front of their home crowd. Well, come on in and join us. This is the NSL on TSN, brought to you by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. I'm Kate McKenna. She is former Canadian women's national team goalkeeper and Olympic champ Erin McLeod. And we mentioned Calgary needing to turn this ship around, and they're bringing in some new personnel to help them do it. They've got 2 new coaches, a trio of new defenders, and one of them, American Taylor Otto, has already impressed you, Erin, in just one half of play.
Absolutely. Now, this, for me, is exactly what Blaney has been looking for. Now, there's no mistake, the last few weeks, this team is a different team defensively. They're way tighter. Their habits have improved so much. But what I really respect about Otto is she displays all of these wonderful behaviors defensively, but also the composure that they have been lacking in possession. So here, she gets subbed into the game, and right off the bat, Hunter is applying all this pressure, and she just casually plays it. Right? So these are the small details that I'm talking about defensively. Watch her shoulders, watch her scanning. She always sees where the ball is. And here again, readjust so she's able to see Hunter. She's ready for the cross, but also knows where the ball is. Here it is again. Blaney is talking about she wants to be an in-possession team. So again, getting pressure here from Rowe, but she's able to just keep composure, takes her touch past Hunter here, so she has great awareness of what's going on around her and exhibiting those behaviors that are going to be really important. And again, defensively, no Storty's out here. She's taking that center line and makes it really easy to intercept this ball. So for me, the second that she comes onto the field, I see already exactly what Blaney is looking for in these new players.
And the composure you're talking about makes sense. This is a player with experience. She has pro experience in Australia, North America, Europe. She was selected 11th overall in the 2021 NWSL draft after a solid collegiate career at UNC. So the composure makes absolute sense. And speaking of Otto, she'll get her first NSL start today as we look at the starting lineup for the Wild, brought to you by DoorDash. She'll line up right next to another new addition, Madison Pogarsh, making her NSL debut. A little further up the pitch, Sarita Thurton and Tegan Stewart return to the lineup as the team is without their captain today, Maggie Doherty-Howard, because she's injured. They're also without their head coach, Leah Blaney, as she's on leave to attend a private family matter. Assistant coach Corey Babington assumes that role today. So there is so much turnover on this squad, but one constant for the Wild this season has been Grace Storty. She has started every match, and she just spoke with our JC Solomon.
Grace, we've seen a lot of new members come on to this Wild team. Can you talk to me about the impact that they've made?
Yeah, I think they've come in hot, and I think they're ready to perform, and I think that's something we have been super excited for. It's a good group of girls we've brought in, and they have a lot of experience, so we're excited to watch them in action.
And seeing Toronto twice in 4 days, what kind of challenges does that present to your team, and what kind of adjustments have you made this week?
Yeah, I think the challenge stays the same. Toronto's a good team, and playing them back-to-back is definitely exciting and fun. You go head-on with them one day, and then you're right back at it again. No crazy adjustments on our end. I think we've been given a game plan, and we're just ready to execute that today and hopefully come home with a win.
Great. Thanks, Grace. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, we mentioned that Calgary signed some new defenders, and Toronto has too. They signed a name who's probably very familiar to Canadian soccer fans and to you, Erin McLeod. That would be Shalina Zadorsky. How does she enhance this back line?
Well, I think she plays exactly what Margo Milanovic pictured for their team. They're very aggressive defensively, and especially with the way that she plays off the front. She's anticipating these balls really high up the field, which means they're regaining possession just higher up, closer to the opposition goal. Here's another example. She's a center back. She's stepping here, which gives confidence to the players around her, which I think is excellent. but she's also great in possession. What she has in her locker is all these different types of distribution options, including, let's just switch it, no problem, 50 yards. So in possession, she's also been key for them. And here, another example, she's beat, but she's taking that center line, making sure she's cutting off that angle. She's a smart defender, great communicator, and always aware of what's happening around her. So she is a key player for me, but she also has the capacity to make everybody around her that much better.
That's absolutely something that Coach Marko Milanovic agrees with. He says she and their other new addition, goalkeeper Sabrina D'Angelo, have already made a massive difference, particularly as far as communication, as far as urgency. He says the pair have fit in seamlessly. Let's look at the starting lineup for AFC Toronto, brought to you by DoorDash. Just 2 changes from last match. Kyla Novak and Nyota Katembo return. Katembo was excellent off the bench in that last match, particularly in terms of her willingness to take players on 1v1, so watch for that today. Colby Barnett was another player who shone on Tuesday against Calgary. So impactful, so involved, and she's standing by with JC Solomon.
Colby, Toronto got their first win at home this season. How did that feel for you and your team?
It was really great. I mean, for us, it was only a matter of time before that win fell. I mean, we definitely needed that, and now we just continue building on that.
And back-to-back games against Calgary. What adjustments do you think that they're going to be making to their defense, and maybe just some challenges that their defense you face against their team?
Yeah, last game they were definitely very organized in their back line, which it made it hard for us to break that down. I'm sure they're going to come out just the same, if not more organized. So we just got to figure out how to get our final ball in behind them and score.
Thanks, Colby. Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Let's take a look at the standings. Ottawa remains the team to catch, leading the league by 4 points, while third place AFC Toronto is looking to stay within striking distance. 31 degrees in Calgary today, so there will be extra player safety measures taken, including slightly longer hydration breaks and an extended halftime. Matt Cullen, Aaron McLeod, and JC Solomon will guide you through it all. You'll hear from them next.
Watching dough rise always fills me with inspiration.
Don't ever look at my savings account. The dough doesn't rise.
BMO has 2 simple ingredients to make your savings rise. Great interest rates and no monthly fees.
Yeah, that would do it all right.
Plus, get a cash bonus for opening a checking and savings account.
So BMO helps your savings grow bigger faster.
Like a triple dose of yeast.
You're hired.
What? No, I wasn't looking for it.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
BMO.
First game. First whistle. First goal. First jersey. First autograph. First favorite player. First away game. First big win. First time thinking, that's gonna be me. Firsts help us move forward together. Toyota, founding partner of the first professional women's soccer league in Canada.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers, for the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists, for long distance love, for introverts and extroverts, for the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for refreshing moments, shared together.
This Northern Super League match is supported by Coca-Cola, proud partner and official soft drink of the NSL.
It's a quick turnaround for Calgary and Toronto, facing each other in Ontario just 4 days ago. The Wild have yet to defeat Toronto. I spoke with Maggie Doherty-Howard earlier this season, and she shared that the team approaches these matchups like a mini-series, with 5 meetings against each opponent, giving them chances to adjust. For Toronto, head coach Marko Milanovic praised the team's defensive performance on Tuesday, calling it their best of the season, but knows that the Wild will make adjustments with their new additions. After Toronto picked up their first home win earlier this week on Tuesday, he joked that the major difference was that he parked in a new spot when arriving to the stadium, and safe to say that he will be parking there from here on out. Aaron and Matt, will send it up to you.
All right, JC, thank you very much. Yes, Aaron, it all comes down to superstition.
That's
Find
right.
that sweet spot, don't change a thing. So coach has done it right. One problem, though, it's an away game.
Oh,
Can't park in
where
that
did he
same
park
spot.
today?
Yeah,
Oh, my.
Were you superstitious at all in your playing days?
I wasn't.
No.
Everyone would always be so eager to ask, oh, which shoe do you put on first? And I just kind of always let them down.
Hey, that's okay. Whatever works.
Whatever works, that's right.
So, as JC mentioned, we're set for the second meeting in the span of a single week. Week 15 of the Northern Super League. And as JC mentioned as well, conditions difficult today, very hot, and also some air quality issues. So there will be extended hydration breaks and extended halftime as well. So that begs the question, Aaron, what's the message in the locker room from the coaches? Is that something you address? Do you leave it all out there and try and recover on the hydration break, or do you maybe try and pace yourself? How would a team approach that?
I think when it comes to hydration and things that are a little bit out of your control, but also in your control, they have to take those moments to come together, take the hydration when they can. That's also a good time to connect as a team tactically. And let's be honest, Calgary's they're constantly going through a lot of things, right? So anytime you can come and reconnect, you have to use that and almost be strategic about that, I think, and use it to your advantage. But definitely same conditions for both squads, so it'll be interesting to see how both of them react.
Sabrina D'Angelo has stopped all 5 shots since she joined AFC Toronto. Back-to-back clean sheets for the Canadian national team keeper. Has returned home, played for her hometown club. And AFC Toronto have dominated Calgary. Not just this season, scoring 5 goals and not conceding any. But last year as well, AFC Toronto has won all 7 matches against the Calgary Wild. So Wild hoping for a couple of firsts today. First win of the season. That would be great, but also a first ever win against AFC Toronto. Jorian Bockham looks at Rollins, plays into the penalty area. Zadorsky just ahead of Grace Storty. It's an early corner kick here for the Wild. A good start.
Good positioning by Zadorsky to win that ball there. I'm sure if she could have it back, she'd put it out for a throw in. But for me, right off the bat, you can see Calgary with their tight lines. They get into a mid block, a 4-4-2 in their mid block, and they're able to regain the ball and actually keep possession and move forward. So attacking transition is something to keep your eye on when it comes to the Calgary Wild today.
Tegan Stewart, the 18-year-old from Calgary, set to take this first corner. It's a good one up into the penalty area and headed on by Bockham, just wide of the post. So an early set piece for the Calgary Wild.
And here's a great set piece. I think Bockham is a little bit open here, but Hunter obviously just covering her zone first to the ball and is able to clear it. But Bockham is someone I think can be quite dangerous for the Calgary Wild when it comes to set pieces.
Good size at 5'9" and also has great presence, particularly in the penalty area. Colby Barnett had 9 crosses in the game on Tuesday to lead all players. Particularly dangerous for AFC Toronto. Pickett had 8. Victoria Pickett on the ball here. Looking top of the penalty area. Played wide. Collected in the penalty area towards goal. Nikki Small earns a corner, the first corner of the day for AFC Toronto.
It's good cover defensively by the Calgary Wild, but you'll see this time and time again. We talked about Zadorsky before the game, but you'll also see these habits from Pickett. These center backs want to drive forward and get into the box, and their playmakers are good in and out of possession. So keep an eye on Pickett and Zadorsky, and even Rollins in possession is now, this is an area of her game she's really improved on. Barnett last game was lethal from corners as well, not just in the run of play.
We have some commotion in the penalty area here. Lauren Rowe taken down. Isabelle Duclos in her 5th appointment of the season. Has a couple of words. Barnett with that dangerous left boot floats it in the penalty area. Quickly sent away. AFC Toronto doing a good job getting right back onto that. Kyla Novak played that ball forward, but the flag comes up.
That's nice by the Calgary Wild. Great shift in their behaviors that we talked about. They're getting the lineup quicker and all together.
Ball played ahead, but just out of the reach of Stewart. So into touch for AFC Toronto. We're still chasing the Montreal Roses by 6 points. Montreal won a thriller against the Vancouver Rise, 4-3. Goals galore. Speaking of Bockham, in, but dragging down Shalina Zadorsky.
A smart play from Zadorsky. She just makes sure she gets her body in between Bockham and the ball. So one of the only things she has left to do here is foul Zadorsky.
Looked like a wrestling move.
It did. It did.
Ball played to Nyota Katembo. 26 minutes off the bench. Looks sharp and is now into the starting lineup for the first time since May the 23rd. Rose ball into the penalty area. It goes off a boot and right to Caitlin Talbert, who leads the league with 51 saves, the busiest goalkeeper in the NSL this year.
That is so many.
You would appreciate that.
She's busy.
It's been a busy start to the year. Wasn't as busy for Talbert, though. Had 3 saves on 4 targeted shots. Made some good ones. And D'Angelo at the other end also made a few key stops. Stopped 2, but both high degree of difficulty.
And yeah, I'm sure Talbert would like to make fewer saves. And I think there has been a shift, especially with their shot blocking. I've got to give praise to the Wild FC. Sometimes when players go to block a shot, they turn their back. They're all facing the ball. They've definitely noticed that difference the last 2 weeks.
Another corner on the way here for the Calgary Wild.
Let's go, Calgary. Thanks to go to
As mentioned earlier, we are keeping a close eye on the air quality, but a heat effect also in place, well over 30 degrees today. Last time I checked, real field was 34 degrees Celsius. And it is hot in southern Alberta. More good attacking here, though, from the Wild. Good to see Michaela Moore back after taking a knock that had her come out of the game in the 80th minute.
Yeah, and they've, Sawicki's not on the roster today. Maggie Doherty Howard's not on the roster today. So, Moore being in the lineup, of course, if she's healthy, really important just as far as leadership with this squad.
Stewart again to deliver this one into the penalty area, and foul is given against the Calgary Wild. Another foul in the midfield, keeping the head referee busy. Kaylee Hunter, the lone goal scorer in Tuesday's game. Of course, the Calgary native returning home. Scored earlier this year in a 4-0 win at McMahon Stadium. And as Kate and yourself mentioned off the top, 4 goals, 2 assists in her last 6 games. Has been very dangerous. Here's Small in the penalty area, looking for the first, and there's another save for Talbert. Not another one to a busy season.
And another one, yeah. But this is good, even from Hunter, you were talking about, just sort of like small movements. And Small, good to get a shot off here. I think it's important when you have that many players in the box. We've seen it with Talbert before. She's been screened by some of her defenders, so take the shot when you have the opportunity.
Busy in terms of the corners early on in this one. Ball played back top of the penalty area, put towards goal by Hunter, turned away. That one goes off an arm, yes. Comes to a quick end there after Nikki Small caught it on the outside of the bicep. Talked about Taylor Otto off the top of our program as well, 26 years old from Cleveland, Ohio. Played 45 minutes off the bench, and this is her first career NSL start. Calgary looking to really shore things up on the back end.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 new defenders. They have, Houghton in the midfield, So a lot of new faces, but you know, needed, I think, as far as, you know, they have already cleaned up some habits, but the one area that I think most teams as their strengths is having attacking players in their fullbacks or wingbacks. I think when it comes to Calgary, Storty sometimes has gotten forward, but this is kind of what I hope to see from Pogarch and from Storty, and having a little bit more solid cover centrally, is that they are getting forward and joining the attack. I think that's one area that Calgary could really go towards.
Tembo trying to drive forward. Met nicely there. Played back to Sarah Rollins. Zadorsky taking a look. Calls for the flag to come up, and indeed it does.
Calgary already doing a really good job with that offside traps, happened a number of times. Just the importance of making sure you're getting your scans and understanding. You see Pogarch there holding her hand up and making sure the runs just continue offside.
Third offside of the season now for AFC Toronto, tied for most with Montreal. They're just doing some attacking. Vincent Pogarch earlier here involved in an early collision. Moore plays out to Storty. Ball into the penalty area. It's a good one. Bockham turns and fires. And D'Angelo gets a piece of it for another corner.
Great save, but I just talked about how we'd like to see Storty getting higher or Pogarch getting higher. This starts because Storty's kind of sitting in an awkward position for Toronto to defend, connects with Balcom, and I love this. Take the half chance, any opportunity that you have, and D'Angelo making another one of those clutch saves.
Fourth corner for the Wild. Only had 2 earlier this week. This one, though, claimed by D'Angelo. Steady with the goalkeeping gloves. Zadorsky out wide. Quickly turned back. Storty into the middle. Thurton's ball right back to Storty. This is dangerous. Played into the middle, but some good defending there by AFC Toronto. Take that away.
Goodbye, Toronto. I think Storty has a few more options in the box, just maybe one more check before delivering the last pass.
Hunter taken down, foul is given, and here's a look at Calgary's minutes leader this year as the only player to start all 14 games for the Wild. Been busy.
Busy, absolutely. And there's something to be said. I mean, playing consistently, this is a challenging league. There's a lot of travel and sometimes very few days between games, as we've seen. So, huge accomplishment.
Wild will also get a taste of that here. Ball up and over the top. Talbot right on the edge of the penalty area. Had to be decisive there.
And this is something actually I've noticed the last few weeks, especially with Talbot, is managing that space behind the back line. I think also it helps when you have a really organized back line and they're all together to read those through balls. But she's done it a couple times, and a nice shift in the way that she's played.
Quick chat from the referee. Maya Jones celebrating her 25th birthday today. Not sure if that was a happy birthday message from our head referee today or not. Looked a little more stern.
25. Do you remember when you were 25? How old are you?
I'm going to be 37, actually, in the matter of 8 days.
What?
Get to that in just a moment. Ball into the middle. Hunter in prime position there.
You're going to want that one back.
But yes, 25. It's going back a few years here, Aaron. I'm not going to lie. Definitely wasn't playing professional soccer, though, I can say that.
No. So this is nice. You see from AFC Toronto is they often are kind of sitting in between lines. Anytime you have a very organized block, you have to find ways to disrupt them. So on the last play, we had someone running in behind because they're trying to kind of stretch that space between the back line and the midfield line. So I'm interested to see how Toronto's going to continue to try to stretch them.
Here's that dangerous set piece here. Oof.
And for me, that ball back across the goal from Rowe is fantastic. Obviously, Hunter just has to look at the ball a little bit longer and get over it.
Back to Jones. Mentioned earlier, Pogarche, another recent addition to this team. Michigan native. To the left side of Calgary's back line. Won in her first NSL start with Otto, and Pogarche in her NSL debut.
Yeah, it's nice to see. You know, she has quite the career playing in the NWSL. But again, I'm excited to see a bit more of her attacking presence, and especially a player like Sonia O'Neill, who has been playing center back for most of the season. Calgary's had a lot of injuries, but she's a natural 6. So I'm sure she's probably happy to be back in her position.
Back in the midfield with Hannah Boughton, who is in the starting 11 for the 3rd straight game. Jumped in earlier on just one training session. Played 70 minutes against Ottawa, which was a narrow 2-1 defeat. Hasn't been taken out ever since.
I know, quite a welcome to the team.
On the back heel there, the Wild just forced to clear it away for safety.
Yeah, and I think in those situations, a lot of times, just a little bit of communication from their teammates telling Talbert she has a little bit more time with the ball at her feet. Even from a mental edge, when you kick the ball out like that, you look a little flustered. And again, you know, all that hard work from Calgary, you want to keep the positive vibes going.
Another set piece on the way here for AFC Toronto. Looks like Sarita Thurton has a few questions. Let's see if you have questions.
I was going to say, I've got to see this again. I think that was potentially a little generous, but and I think Calgary has to continue to be smart around set pieces. Last game, you know, I think Toronto had 12 corner kicks, and they were able to defend all of them successfully, but you know, you don't want to poke the bear.
Ball from Zadorsky. Just a little bit too far for Katembo. So far, just the one shot on target so far, and the one Talbert save. Taylor Otto back to the keeper, and this time it's much cleaner. Rollins, aerial ball forward. Rowe and Hunter. Certainly a dangerous duo and really just heating up. Rowe has 6 goals in her last 9, and Kaylee Hunter 4 goals, 2 assists in her last 6.
Yeah, they're a duo I've loved watching, especially both of them have grown so much already. And just the way that they work together, just an understanding of where the other one is at all times. It's really been nice to watch, especially when you have an Okoronkwo who's kind of been in and out of the lineup and injured. And I wondered how they were going to, you know, replace someone of that caliber. And I think Rose stepped in, offered something different, but love the relationship that she's building with Hunter.
Mr. Okoronkwo and Linda both on international duty for AFC Toronto at the moment, playing in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Nigeria with Okoronkwo upset by Malawi 3-2 in the opener. Ghana taking care of business over Cabo Verde, who were, of course, turning heads at the recent Men's World Cup. 2-0 win for Ghana there. Ball is in. Decisive defending there by Bockham. Ottenberg back on the ball. And more good defending here from the Calgary Wild.
Yeah, just a lot more proactive and anticipating the passes and then getting their lines up quicker. And the one thing about Toronto, they only want to be defending, you know, like in the opposition half. And I think with Calgary last game, they really got stuck in their own end defending. And after a while, it's really challenging, even mentally, right? So for them to even to get up the field as much as they can to find higher up the field will be good for them.
Marko Milanovic overall happy with the 1-0 win, but did say his team was a bit wasteful at times. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think they created a lot of chances, but the final act was just kind of missing. And like today, you saw the ball from Rowe to Hunter, and they're creating some of those opportunities. It's just, can they put them away more consistently?
This ball into touch. Pogarsh, who will take a look. There's Corey Babington on the touchline in the technical area for the first time, in for Leah Blaney, who's dealing with a private family matter and not available for the match today. So Babington, who was recently brought in to be an assistant coach, has worked with Leah Blaney since 2015. So those two certainly have a good connection.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important for coaches to, a lot of times you'll see that they're traveling with their assistant coach, analysts, people that they obviously grow that connection and trust with over the years.
Rowe, good speed here. Ball is in and finished off. Tidy finish. Guess who? Kaylee Hunter. The Calgarian returns home and burns the Wild for the third straight game.
And what a collection. The precision on this cross to find Hunter, who's going at full speed, which is almost impossible to defend. Look how Hunter goes away at first and then cuts inside, so she's able to beat more because she's just traveling at top speed. And this is fantastic from Rowe. Just the, like I said, the precision. And that's a tough one to save. Talbot just gets beat by speed.
AFC Toronto goal scored by number 11, Kaylee Hunter, in the 21st minute.
Already the 6th goal of the season for Kaylee Hunter, who is just 2 back of the Golden Boot race right now. It's DB Pridham and Elise Bennett of Montreal on 8. And Hunter has been really heating up in terms of the goals. And Rowe, that's her first assist of the season, 7th goal contribution for the 22-year-old. So the Calgary Wild at home have some work to do.
And I know I've spoken a lot about Calgary Wild and their defending, but for me, Toronto AFC, like, they are consistent, and that is something that Marko Milanovic talked about. They're building the foundation. They talk about defense first, always. And again, you can see their tight lines. The urgency is the one thing he mentioned about Zadorsky. The urgency to get into their lines, their urgency to react to triggers. So to see even an improvement is going to be exciting for the squad.
Already the 5th corner here for the Wild. Another ball that's sent in, back post. Ball through the penalty area, just out of the reach of Otto. It is windy today, gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour to add to the heat. And as Kate and yourself mentioned earlier with JC, there will be 2 hydration breaks today, extended hydration breaks. They're brought to you by Powerade. So a couple of extra minutes here to deal with the searing heat here in southern Alberta.
Attention, please. Due to the high temperature at today's match.
And speaking of some of the hot conditions, let's bring in JC down on the touchline for us.
Thanks, Matt. Safe to say it is warm out here. These girls are doing just an incredible job. Today's game is Heroes Match Day here at McMahon Stadium, where we are celebrating the everyday heroes who make our communities stronger. So earlier this week, the Calgary Wild players were asked who their heroes are, and many of them shared stories about their moms, their dads, their coaches, teachers, and mentors who helped them shape their journeys and become the athletes that they are today. So fans also had the opportunity to nominate their own hero, and at halftime today, one deserving individual will be recognized for their impact that they make in our community. So Heroes Match Day is proudly supported by the Alberta Blue Cross and their commitment to health and wellness that goes beyond healthcare, because they believe that stronger communities create healthier futures. So Aaron and Matt, I want to ask the two of you, who is your hero?
Aaron, I know you've been thinking a lot about this one.
I have so many. Yeah, and my tear ducts are working, but no one can see them, so it's okay. I have to say, okay, 3 come to mind. Sorry, we'll be here for the entire hydration break.
We want it all. We want it all.
I have to say my parents have literally traveled all over the world to support me. They do the same for my sisters. But what makes them my heroes is just the kindness in which they treat people. That's something that I've tried to mimic my whole life. And of course, I have to say my wife, because if at any point you see someone go through labor, you just got to give your hats off. She's the strongest woman that I know and challenges me all the time. And I just feel grateful every day to be her partner. And what about you, Matt?
Well, I've been thinking lots about this as well. And, well, certainly my parents growing up, taking me to all sorts of different practices, waking up early weekends, long road trips. And, well, now I've got some young kids at home as well. You really see that in the community. There's, you know, that life is busy.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, but they always make time for that. So certainly my parents go into the hero category for me. But I also, now that I want to have young kids coming up, all the youth coaches, I think, that all the youth coaches that give up their nights, their weekends so that kids can play sports. My daughter just had bike camp last week, and you know, those people were out there, 30-plus degrees. So big shout out to all the youth coaches out there.
Yeah.
And perhaps, well, a hero for many here, 18-year-old Kaylee Hunter. Marko Milanovic calls her the best young player in the country right now. And hey, here's some hero moments right here.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think this whole play starts. Pickett recognizes that Pogash is pulled forward, so there's a little bit of space for Rowe to play into. Rowe takes her touches inside, and then, like I said, you see beforehand, Hunter kind of pulls away a little bit, so she's out of Moore's vision, and then she cuts aggressively in front of her. She doesn't have a chance to keep up. Fantastic goal right from the beginning.
And the tally keeps going for Kaylee Hunter, now her 22nd career Northern Super League goal, 16 last year and already up to 6 this year. Only had 1 goal in the first 7 games, but is now really clicking along. That's now 5 in her last 7. And, well, Aaron, we're just getting started here this afternoon. Could be more damage to come from AC Toronto's number 11.
And this will be a real test for Calgary. They continue to have to go through a lot of challenges, right? So
chasing games,
yes. So this is the moment where the character and the connection really makes a difference, and it is especially challenging when your head coach is gone. So hoping that they stick together, keep to the principles that have been making such a big difference.
Ball given away in the midfield, taken back by AFC Toronto. Small looking around, and will play this back. Pickett. Mentioned earlier in terms of the schedules that a lot of games, lots of travel, and well, the Calgary Wild will get another taste of that, playing midweek for the 2nd straight week. Coming up in the inaugural W Canadian Championship, with a match coming up. This shot just wide, but on Wednesday playing against CS Montréal Outremont, coming from just outside of Montreal. So an exciting time here for the Calgary Wild, who of course want to have maximum focus on this one, but without a win on the season and now playing a team that they haven't faced coming up midweek, isn't it difficult to maybe not have an eye peeking ahead on that big game and a chance to be in the semifinal?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And, you know, it's the first time it's happening. It's exciting for a lot of reasons, but I think for Calgary to continue to be as present as possible will be key for the game today, especially if things get harder. Again, sticking to your principles, as boring as that may sound, makes a big difference. So here you can see the habits more, getting the scans in before you see Otto composed on the ball but gives the ball away. So balancing that bravery and being smart.
And still over an hour to go in this one, but goals have been relatively few and far between this year, and leading goal scorer Maggie Doherty-Howard not available today. Came off in the second half at York Lions Stadium. But some new faces on the bright side.
New faces, that's right, that's right.
Can make a name. If you're just joining us, you're watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. In the 30th minute on a hot day in southern Alberta. And Kaylee Hunter, the only goal scorer so far in this one, tallying in the 22nd minute. So back-to-back games against the Calgary Wild this week with goals. And so far, apart from the 5 corner kicks, hasn't been a long stretch of possession here for the Wild in terms of the attacking.
Yes, they haven't had a lot of possession so far, but I do think with AFC Toronto, if they move the ball a little quicker, they may have the ability to move Calgary's block a little bit quicker. Again, I think it's great that they're standing kind of in between lines, and keep in mind it's hot, you know, maybe some tired legs. Having played just recently, but that movement, they're going to have to try to pull that block apart a little bit to get more success in the final third.
All headed away by Stordy. Curtin and Stordy combine, and once again, we've seen that a few times, just the ball just cleared away for safety.
Yeah, and I think Pickett wanted to have that one just over the back line and just fell a little bit short, but Thurton does a good job to double back and get pressure.
Stordy had thought she'd done enough to avoid a corner. Not in the eyes of Isabelle Duclos. So Pickett, who had 8 crosses in the last match. Mentioned Barnett had 9. Those two were just whipping balls in. Already a heavy dose in terms of the corners. Second here for AFC Toronto. This one a low line drive. Maybe a second chance. Pickett, nice move, goes down. And the referee points to the penalty spot. And in the 32nd minute, it goes from bad to worse here for the Wild.
I mean, Pickett does a good job here. Meg's hurt, and Stordy does give her enough physical contact. I can see why the referee makes the call. It's a bit harsh, but at the end of the day, you know, she's pushing her in the penalty box.
And Grace Stordy has been shown a red card. Was in discussion with the head referee. We were watching the replay, but it's a sending off here, and the ball placed at the penalty spot. Really a drastic turn here for the Wild.
Yeah, that's devastating for a lot of reasons. That's harsh for the team. Stordy's a leader. So many reasons. You can see she's upset. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to keep your composure, and how you speak to the referee matters.
Hunter, who scored on Tuesday, this time goes off the post and in. Talbert was there, got a lot on the ball, but not quite enough. Goes into the back of the goal. Hunter has a brace. And now Calgary down a player and down 2 goals.
Great placement by Hunter. She hits it really hard. And Talbot, man, I can only help but feel for a goalkeeper. She gets 2 hands on it. She's explosive, gets a touch on it. Here's the replay. Oh, she almost makes the save. I know she's upset. But again, Hunter with another goal. Just the confidence to go and take those set pieces, whether from the PK spot or outside of the box. She's been fantastic in that area.
Second goal from the spot this year for Kaylee Hunter on 3 attempts, and now has her 4th career Northern Super League brace. And now 1 shy of the Golden Boot lead. So AFC Toronto really making the Calgary Wild pay there for the penalty and then the sending off of the minutes leader, Grace Stordy. It's a long time, and it's a hot day to be playing down a player.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how they manage now Stordy off the field. I assume they'll put another person in the back line. Probably, it looks like Sonia O'Neill shifting in there, so they maintain their back four.
She got 30 minutes back in
She
her
got
national
30
position.
minutes. She got it. She had a taste of being a 6 again.
And AFC Toronto looking to do some more attacking here. Ball looking at Lauren Rowe, just out of her reach. And Talbot got a great touch on that penalty, but just didn't have the luck of the goalpost with her.
Oh, that was tough.
A centimeter or two the other way. It's a great save.
It was a great save. It's good effort. But again, props to Hunter, who just steps up, and she
A lot of power.
A lot of power on that shot. Good placement.
It's the third penalty conceded by the Wild this year. And AFC Toronto certainly in the driver's seat for 3 points now. Scored a 4-0 win over the Calgary Wild back on May the 31st. Rowe, Hunter, Stratigatkis, and Kyla Novak, the goal scorers on that day. Ball is in. Talbot with a touch. Ball comes to Rowe. Left boot. Talbot, a big save. Second chance goes in. The third in the first half for AFC Toronto, and Lauren Rowe just stuck with it. Refused to take no as an answer. And it's 3 for AFC Toronto.
And good persistence from Rowe. I mean, rebound after rebound. It's a challenging situation. A great ball in for me. Talbot has to get a more significant touch on that if she decides to go. Leaves herself a little bit vulnerable outside of the goal. And, you know, you've got Otto. You need more pressure on the ball, a little bit quicker. Jones tries to get there, but Rowe puts it away. She does a good job.
The second ball goes off of Pogarsh and up and over the keeper. And it looks like we're going to have an early change here for Calgary Wild, as Tegan Stewart has come out of the match here, and Tilly James, who had started every match previously for the Calgary Wild when she was available, comes in for a first half change. But we were wondering what changes might happen, Aaron, with Calgary being down a player here, needing to make some adjustments, and now down 3.
Right, and Stewart is a more creative offensive player, and they put James in, who's more of a defensive player. So they're probably trying to keep the score to what it is until halftime and then regroup.
38th minute. AFC Toronto looking for its 3rd consecutive win. That would be the first time this year that they've reached 3 straight. And for Calgary, it won't be a nice number, but 14 straight without a win. If that's the way it falls, that would be the most in the league's young history, after Halifax had a 13-game stretch last year. Not the kind of history you want to make.
That's right. I was part of that history. It is challenging, though, for, you know, every goal against and every situation. It just feels a little bit harder. So right now, the mentality of Calgary, you know, probably just hold on until halftime. They'll need to come together, and they're going to need to find, and Blaney talked about a collective bigger picture. Well, they'll need that for motivation in the second half.
Lauren Rowe with a goal and an assist, and Kaylee Hunter with the brace. Damage here so far. Oh, we almost had 2 balls in play there. There we go, situation sorted. Michaela Moore wearing the armband today in the absence of Maggie Doherty Howard. What would you be saying as the captain here? As this has been a trying and difficult season here for the Wild, and has really gone from bad to worse here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's probably at a loss for words. But again, at the same time, like sticking to the habits, they have made such significant improvements in the last couple weeks. As I mentioned, you know, that they're so organized defensively. Against Montreal, they gave up 2 goals on corner kicks. Last game, they had 12 corner kicks given up against Toronto and didn't concede once. So there are these like little silver linings in all of these losses. They are building so much character, which ends up helping you out much later. Hopefully they can start turning things around.
Playing down a player as well, as Grace Doherty was sent off in the 33rd minute. And it's been a heavy dose of AFC Toronto ever since. It's the 4th red card of the NSL season.
Katembo attempting to go 1v1 there. She has numbers around her. She can kind of put her foot on the ball and recycle it if she wants. But nicer from Toronto that they are all, if you look, sitting in between lines, which is posing some problems for Calgary. I still think a little bit more movement and faster ball speed would present Calgary with a few more problems. But at least now they're giving those defenders kind of these moments of indecision.
Hunter taken down. Comes back to Barnett. Great shot, and what a curler that is. Into the corner, Colby Barnett gives AFC Toronto a 4-0 first half lead.
And you saw this fire in Barnett last game. There was a shift for me in the way that she was playing, the way she's driving to get more crosses in. And here she tucks inside and hits like a banger in swinging ball. I mean, Talbot is fully outstretched. I think even gets a touch on it and it still goes in. Look at this touch inside, which is fantastic, right? James is on the outside, so that touch gives her time and space to hit the ball that she wants. Fantastic from Barnett.
Well, usually whipping balls into the penalty area, one of the crosses leader this year, but that's some kind of finish with the left boot.
I know. And my heart for Talbot right now. She got a good touch on that one as well, but sometimes at the end of the day, you've done all you can, and it's a world-class goal.
First of the season for Barnett. And AFC Toronto have just piled on the goals here.
I can only imagine how they feel in their hearts right now, Calgary, but they're still maintaining the pressure. They're still getting numbers around the ball.
Thurton and Uttenberg there. That's a difficult challenge. Both players down in pain. So the medical staffs will come on and take a look here.
And here you can see Uttenberg's going for it. Ooh, and that's just a collision. I don't know who gets the better end of that. That's painful, I think, for both of them. Uttenberg's been a player, though, that has starting to get more and more minutes. I think has been really solid for Toronto, and I love the way that their midfield rotates, and just the way that they complement the way that their back line gets forward. And talking with Marko Milanovic, talk about rest defense. So the way they set up defensively, preparing for attacking transition from the opposing team, that it's that relationship between someone like an Uttenberg and Pickett and Zadorsky, and I think the last few games have done that really, really well.
Good to see that everybody's up and seemingly okay. Otto with the restart. Back and Moore will send this forward. just really been relentless from AFC Toronto. Every ball that's sent away, it's countered with the next wave of the attack.
And I do think that, you know, that's probably their biggest strength is their organization on defense, but also just the aggressiveness in which they defend. They always want to be defending in the opposing end, but sometimes blocks get a bad rap for not being aggressive, but the way that they set up any ball that comes through them, especially centrally, they're very aggressive to get numbers around it. So this is great from Novak.
Hunter again. Headed back towards goal, and that one a couple of yards off target from Lauren Rowe. Good to see Thurton back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But this from Novak, this is great. She's existing in between lines. And what that does is she pulls a defender with her, or she's able to turn into space. So this is what we need to see a little bit more of from Toronto.
Well, AFC Toronto certainly firing on all cylinders now. Had a, I guess, up and down start to the season, you could say. Only picked up their first win at home in 5 tries on Tuesday. Went the first 5 of the season without a win, but right now have taken full advantage here of this home and home.
And I know it sounds obvious when you add 2 world-class people to your roster. It's obviously going to have an impact. But I think what Zadorsky allows and has allowed the whole back line to do is just be way more aggressive and on the front foot, way more proactive, winning the ball further up the field, which has always been their game plan. But her execution is trickling down to the ones around her. And I have to say, Rollins especially, for me, and Marko Milanovic said, arguably the best defender in the league. Positionally, I think Rollins has been excellent all season.
Played a lot of minutes for AFC Toronto. Flag does come up here, and Isabelle Duclos didn't like that Baucom took the shot anyway.
No.
As a keeper yourself, would you take offense to that?
Yes.
Shot after the whistle
I do,
there?
But I take a lot of things personally, but I did. I would always.
That would make you react. Set to cross into the 3rd minute here of first half stoppage time. Barnett, their 2nd career NSL goal, made it 4-0. Getting a second chance after the first corner was deflected and really made no mistake. Into the corner, Talbert did get a touch to it, just like the penalty. Well, Talbot got a solid touch to it, but just didn't get any help from the post. A well-struck penalty from Kaylee Hunter, who has 2 goals.
But this is great from Toronto. Going into this game, Milanovic says, I want to see them put those chances away, that they've been just lacking that last, whether it's touch or whatever it is, last pass just hasn't been there. And I think he can go into halftime feeling pretty good about this performance so far.
Barnett here, coming up clutching her knee.
She does a really good job there actually to outstretch and get that ball away and out of bounds. Thurton's a quick player. She's able to get a touch to that ball. But yes, hitting the ground hard. Looks like she's still
that's a sore one.
Yeah.
Lots of space here on the far side. Is there something more here before the end of the first half? Hunter is in, and a key block there from Moore. Sticking right with the AFC Toronto star. Maya Jones will give this back. Otto. Not some of the defending that we saw Tuesday in Toronto, where it's a pretty good defensive effort here from Calgary. Just hasn't been the same here today.
Absolutely. I mean, Moore is trying to keep her one side, is successful to do that. When she cuts inside, Moore is able to adjust her body, and Otto's there also to provide cover. So, just the way that they funnel and basically take out anything centrally was well done.
Isabelle Duclos says that's the end of the first half from McMahon Stadium. And it is all AFC Toronto here in this one. Kaylee Hunter has 2 goals, including one from the penalty spot. Barnett adding the 4th, and Lauren Rowe also in on the goals. Coming up at halftime, we'll check back in with Kate McKenna, Aaron McLeod, and JC Solomon. 4-0 for the visitors in Calgary at halftime.
We are so glad you're here. Kate McKenna, Aaron McLeod with you. We're here to watch the match with you and give you a ton of insight, analysis that you might not get anywhere else, and we're going to have a ton of fun along the way.
Do you treat your young players different than your more senior veteran players?
My pal Kelsey Mitchell, familiar with Alberta weather, multi-sport Olympian. This is a question for Aaron. Will you bring the 2002 Mohawk back?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Color and everything. Come on, subscribers, let's go.
Make it happen.
People doubt us in Winnipeg, what we're capable of. Like no good players could be from here. Nothing is expected of us, so we fight for everything we get. And we work harder than anyone that thinks it's going to be handed to us. I've spent my life defending home. And now I'm ready to shape its future. My dream for Winnipeg is that we stop asking if we belong on the world stage and instead show up and take our place. Introducing NSL Winnipeg. Destroy doubt.
Obviously, I'm at the back end of my career, and to have the opportunity to come home and finish out my career in Canada, it means the world to be in front of my family, close to my family and friends. Yeah, it's not something, like you said, I had ever dreamed of. I've been fortunate that they've been able to fly and come catch some games, but to have them at every home game is going to just feel so special, and to see them in the stands, see my fiance in the stands, my extended family, I'm just so excited, and I think it's a way to give back to them. Oh my gosh, here we go. Because obviously I've been away for so long, and they've been so selfless in letting me live my dreams. So now to have them be at every game and it be so close, it's for me, but it's also for them as well. So yeah, being a part of a new league, and a new league in Canada, and to create that legacy and to help build something really, or continue to build something really special here, and to leave my imprint in best way possible. Yeah, it's another way of giving back to soccer in Canada, and I'm honored to be a part of that.
Maya trusts Intact Insurance. So does Margot's favorite cafe. Oh, careful. Bill, too. Bill, you mind?
No. Can you lift her higher?
Sam and Jen trust Intact, too. So does that shipping company. Oh, and whoever owns that skyscraper up there. And to think, that's just one street. Intact Insurance goes the extra mile to protect over 6 million cars, homes, and businesses.
Welcome to the NSL Halftime Show presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. A 4-0 lead for AFC Toronto at the half as we look at the stats. The story in this one, Toronto in full control. 4 goals from 3 different players. Calgary down a player thanks to the sending off of Grace Storty. And by the end of that half, just trying to hang on. Lauren Rowe has been a revelation for AFC Toronto this year. A goal and an assist already today. And she's standing by with JC Solomon.
Lauren, you and your team were able to maintain consistent pressure against the Wild in that first half. What contributed to that from your perspective?
I think what contributed to that was us being really cohesive defensively. We were supporting each other off the ball angles when we won the ball so we could attack forward. and we finished our chances, which was needed early in the game because it builds momentum. And it's really hard out there, so we're just working hard in this weather.
And talk to me about your relationship with Kaylee Hunter. What did you see on that pass over, and then your goal as well for this to be a 4-0 game at half?
Yeah, I think me and Kayla built some chemistry over the season, and I just had a feeling that she was making the run, and she made a beautiful run and a beautiful finish, so props to her on that one.
And like you mentioned, this weather, it's really hot out here today, 33 degrees. Can you give us a bit of an idea of what it is like playing in this weather?
I will say it is difficult, but we've been preparing all season and preseason for games like this, so it's really showing today.
Thank you, Lauren. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad that JC asked Lauren Rowe about the connection between she and Kaylee Hunter, because they're developing they're quite the dynamic duo in this league, developing quite the relationship, and it was the two of them who connected for Toronto's opening goal.
This, for me, this first goal especially, the connection is unbelievable. Like, she puts this on a platter for her. Again, great recognition by Pickett. That poke arch is a little bit out of position. Watch Hunter's run. She kind of goes out of Moore's vision and then cuts in front. And what's more beautiful, I know she talked about a lot of beautiful things there, Ro, but just her ability to read that little shift of her run and able to put that right on her head for the finish. For me, this is fantastic. Their connection continues to grow, but just the specificity she was able to just find her head in that moment, especially with the change of speed. That's real nice.
It was real nice. And listen, 10 minutes later,
real nice.
It was real nice.
Really nice.
10 minutes later, Grace Storty. This was not real nice for Calgary. Grace Storty pulls down Victoria Pickett, and that leads to a PK that Kaylee Hunter scored, but Talbot almost had this one.
I know, these are really hard to watch, of course, as goalkeepers. I'm always cheering for the goalkeepers. Now, Pickett does a really good job. She knows that she's past Storty, and Storty brings her down. So, surprised by the call, and unfortunately, dissent, right? These are the moments. She's a leader. She's got to control those emotions. And to be fair, Hunter could have put this maybe a little bit more in the corner, but she hits it with enough firepower that Talbot is not able to make the save. She's close. You can see her smashing the ground. And then, of course, you know, seeing this scene, this is, for me, this is Calgary time and time again. They've had a lot of disappointments along the way. This will be a really challenging halftime for them.
And we're going to talk a bit more in just a bit about what they need to do in the second half, but the goals kept on coming for Toronto. Lauren Rowe made it 3, and again, Talbot makes an athletic first save, but ultimately Rowe slots it home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Talbot has been there time and time again, but this is just fantastic work from Barnett. And again, Rowe is here, just the persistence. She gets one save and numbers around the ball, but I think Calgary just needed to actually put a little bit more pressure on the actual shooter. They're just kind of standing kind of in the way, but I think what I like about Rowe, she's there, she tries and tries again and tries again. It's unfortunate, it like lands right on her lap every single time, but she doesn't give up, and this is what I actually really like about Rowe. She works really hard. She's always there, and in the interview, she's giving praise to everyone around her, said that, you know, Hunter's beautiful, beautiful ball, all these kind of things. But that's what you want in a teammate, works hard, humble, and give praise to all the people around her.
She's absolutely such a likable and fun player to watch. And that was not it for Toronto. Colby Barnett with a banger for Barnett to make it 4-0, and this was our Intact Insurance move of the half.
And for me, I love this about Barnett because she finds this like little pocket of space, right? James is here and she's coming out pressuring, so she has to change direction, and she's able to take that touch inside, which enables her to get that nice spin on the ball. And again, Talbot gets a little bit of a touch, but just perfectly placed. This is world class for me from Barnett. And again, I'll say it again, Barnett came in last game with a little bit of fire in her, and she's maintained that, and you're seeing that from more and more Toronto players.
Let's talk about Calgary. They're down 4 goals. They're down a player, and not just any player, their minutes leader, Grace Storty. They're without their captain, Maggie Doherty-Howard. They're without their coach, 31-degree heat. I feel for this team right now. What can they do in order to just get through the second half?
That's a great question. I know it sounds boring, but sticking to their principles, like the behaviors that they've exhibited in the last 2 weeks, they continue to progress. I know there's a lot of character building moments, right? But this is when the connection between players really matters, and they have a lot of new players. So this is when you've got to step up, be there for one another. This is about the comms. This is about the vibes. This is about moving together. Any trigger that they see defensively, they have to move as a unit and just work as hard as they can to the end of the game. And even if the score line remains the same, I think they can be proud of that.
And you can see those veteran players stepping up. You see Michaela Moore trying to get her players together and speak to them. So I'm sure Corey Babington will be doing much the same in the locker room right now. But pivoting to something completely different, it is an exciting time to be a soccer fan in Canada, and that's because there's a new chapter unfolding, and the NSL is part of it. It's the inaugural W Canadian Championship. This is a new national competition for women's soccer in this country. So 8 teams will compete, all 6 NSL clubs plus 2 clubs from Premier Soccer Leagues Canada. They face off in 3 knockout rounds, starting with the quarterfinals. The first of which goes down Monday, Halifax versus Ottawa. We will be streaming it at our NSL Watch Party, 2 p.m. Eastern, on the league's YouTube page. And in terms of what they're competing for, not only a national title, but the chance to represent Canada in the CONCACAF W Champions Cup in 2027 and the 2028 FIFA Women's World Cup, Women's Club World Cup, an important distinction. As we look at the schedule right there, you've got Halifax versus Ottawa, Calgary versus CS Montreal Outremont, then the Montreal Roses on August 12th taking on Simcoe County Rovers FC, and finally in October, AFC Toronto versus Vancouver Rise. So, this is massive for soccer in this country, for women's soccer in this country. Erin, your reaction to this?
I mean, I think it's fantastic, right? Like, we always want to know how good our league is compared to everybody else in the world, and also how we compare to League One. So this will be an interesting test to see how players are doing within the leagues in this country, but then also having different competition, right? These teams are playing each other quite frequently, so now they have an opportunity to play some of the best within CONCACAF, other clubs. So I think first for the league to see where we measure towards, compared to other leagues, but also just for the players, for the opportunity to play against different people, different clubs. I think it's exciting and something that will be really important for the growth of this league in the future.
This will be so much fun to watch. As we mentioned, the first quarterfinal goes down on Monday at our NSL Watch Party. But coming up, Erin McLeod is going to go on record and share with us her top 3 saves of the season so far. I think they call this must-see TV, don't they, Erin?
Oh, Kate, yes, I totally agree with you. Thank you for saying that.
Stay with us.
I think being from Calgary means everything. I love that city. It means the whole world to me, so being able to play pro at home is just the greatest gift ever. I think my favorite part about playing home games in Calgary is when I'm flying up the wing and I hear little girls or parents or just friends and family like chanting my name. I think it's really just rewarding knowing that you're appreciated. I want to put on a good show for my friends and family and for all the people that come out to support us, but less pressure because Calgary is just such a forgiving place. So I know no matter what happens, like, the city always has our back.
Cross gets in, and it's in the back of the net.
What do you remember about the goal? What do you remember about the moment?
Yeah, it was my first professional goal as a total, so super sweet. It wasn't a pretty goal, that's for sure. It went kind of straight off the bridge of my nose, but a goal's a goal. I'll count it as a header, and it was just surreal. My best friend was there, my family was there, so it was a moment I'll never forget.
On the pitch, you see the intensity she brings, and she brings that every day. On training, she's always loud. You can hear her from across the field, but off the field, I do think she does a really good job of making everyone feel included, and she has that high social battery where she can make sure like the team is all meshing together and bringing that energy off the field as well.
I took a lot of pride in, I think everyone's kind of said, starting this and being a part of the start of it, and I think it's special for me that I am Calgarian. You know, I want to leave an impact on this league, whether I'm here for forever or just a short period of time, and I love it, so I can't complain. But yeah, moving forward, it's just, this is the place where I want to be and I love to be, so can't thank this league enough. Growing up, we didn't have that, especially in Canada, and it's really cool to see even now just the feedback from parents, moms, dads, their children, just saying how lucky they feel that their kid has someone to look up to. I hope they leave knowing that they have a role model.
Welcome back. Well, we are 15 weeks into this NSL season, and that means 15 weeks worth of fantastic saves. And because we got a heck of a goalkeeper here, an Olympic champion, in fact, we are going to put Erin McLeod on the spot and have her break down her top 3 saves of the season so far. And are these in order, Erin? 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1?
They're tied. I'm going to give equal love to all these goalkeepers.
Okay.
But I have to say, this first one. I have a special place in my heart for Sabrina D'Angelo, who's a fantastic goalkeeper. She's not only a fantastic goalkeeper, she's also a fantastic leader. She's always directing people on the field. But here, if you watch her footwork, she's constantly resetting. And every keeper is very different in this area. You can see she kind of takes little steps to get into her set. And when I mean her set timing is excellent, she's looking at the ball when they make contact, and she's able to put her feet into the ground, so she's able to transfer her weight and make that explosive save when she needs to.
And something else about D'Angelo that I know many people have pointed out is her communication skills.
Yes, she is, and I think that's one of the biggest things, one of the most important things actually about goalkeeping is giving the confidence to the people around you. So saying you've got someone on your left or someone on your right, or these things that you just can't see everything all the time. And if you listen during the game, you're going to be able to hear D'Angelo constantly directing her back line.
Well, someone else who's been key for her team this season is Caitlin Talbert, and she made a big save against Ottawa that you want to take a look at.
Yes, Talbert has made so many saves. She has made so many saves and has been huge for them. So here she's readjusting her position, a great body weight, and makes a nice first save. And this is what I love about Talbert. She's very unorthodox in a lot of the saves that she's making. And as a goalkeeper, a former goalkeeper and a goalkeeper coach, you know, a lot of times we kind of get like cookie cutter. But what I like about Talbert is she does things her own way, and she's still obviously making a ton of saves.
It's such a good point, Erin, and a ton of saves. I mean, she leads the league in saves, so she's doing something right. And as far as the third save, you want to point out Melissa Dagenet against Halifax.
Yes, Dagenet for me has been a goalkeeper that's probably improved the most since last season. She has such a wonderful presence, and anytime you have I was going to say a long goalkeeper, that's what they say in Iceland, a tall goalkeeper, you always have to be aware about them moving their feet. So pretty standard with a cross. If you decide you're not coming for a cross, watch her as she drops to her line. What this gives her is a little bit of time to make that really explosive, beautiful save. And again, a small detail, but you can see that she's actually looking at the player making contact. That enables her to have the right angle and be able to push at the right time.
And listen, that save happened during our last NSL watch party, and there's another one coming up on Monday where these two teams are going to face off once again, so maybe we'll get another big save. Who knows? As for this afternoon, Toronto in full control, up 4-0 at McMahon Stadium. Kaylee Hunter returning to her hometown and notching her first brace of the season.
Welcome on board our new Triangle Rewards and WestJet Rewards partnership.
Prior to earning, ensure your accounts are securely linked. In the event you shop or fly with us, earn Canadian Tire money and WestJet points on all eligible purchases. Breathe normally and secure your own rewards before assisting others. Take a moment to locate where you can spend once and earn twice. Link today and watch your rewards take off.
For the big, small, short, tall. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For refreshing moments. Shared together.
Watching dough rise always fills me with inspiration.
Don't ever look at my savings account. The dough doesn't rise.
BMO has 2 simple ingredients to make your savings rise. Great interest rates and no monthly fees.
Yeah, that would do it all right.
Plus, get a cash bonus for opening a checking and savings account.
So BMO helps your savings grow bigger faster.
Like a triple dose of yeast.
You're hired.
What? No, I wasn't looking for it.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
BMO.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the visitors from the Ontario capital, AFC Toronto, have a commanding 4-0 lead, and also the Calgary Wild down a player with Grace Doherty being sent off after a conceded penalty, Aaron, in the first half. So everything going the way of the visitors here so far. What do you expect here for the second half here for both teams?
I think probably similar from Toronto. We talked about playing in between lines, a little bit more opposite movement, higher speed in the ball will help them to continue to be successful. And then from Calgary, I think just maintaining their organization. They're having a few changes here. I think I'm hoping at halftime they kind of regrouped, you know, talked about why they play. I think sometimes these are the moments you need kind of bigger picture. And then having a couple players come into the lineup. You know, St. Jean's a new player, for example. She's coming in as center back. And again, you have to take the opportunities. Even though it's not the best situation, if you get a chance to play and get some minutes, this is your time to make a difference.
Seize the moment. Take advantage of the 45 minutes ahead. Kaylee Books coming in for her 10th appearance of the season, and Frederique St. Jean out of Montreal played 16 minutes in her NSL debut Tuesday in Toronto. Will get likely 45 minutes here to get accustomed to her new side. Brings a lot of size as well, which of course you can appreciate from the keeper's perspective. Towers at 5'10".
Oh, nice.
Great vertical as well. Some of the scouting reports from her NCAA career with Buffalo Bulls and St. John's, playing in the NCAA. And there's a look at Sabrina D'Angelo, who I know you talked about at halftime. Hasn't been overly busy in this one, but has looked very solid now in the 2.5 NSL matches she's played.
Yeah, and to be fair, in most of the games that she's played so far, she hasn't had a lot to do. But what is impressive about her, she stays focused, and she's come up with those big saves when it really matters.
All right, second half here from McMahon Stadium. Alongside longtime Canadian national team keeper and Olympic champion Aaron McLeod. Kate McKenna in studio, JC Solomon on the pitch. My name is Matt Cullen, commanding lead for AFC Toronto, who have eyes on their third consecutive victory of the season. And it's been the usual suspects, with a brace from Kaylee Hunter, Lauren Rowe, and also Colby Barnett, who's a big part of this attack. Not always in on the goals, but a really tidy finish here.
Absolutely brilliant finish from her.
Barnett on the ball here as Calgary will try and limit the damage and maybe something going forward on a counterattack. Markham staying in the match. Barnett again. Ball played through the penalty area, taken back by Rowe. Looks at a second and just misses. An early warning shot. AFC Toronto doesn't look like they have any intention here of taking their foot off the gas.
That's right. Again, just find that nice little pocket of space in between the back line and the midfield line, takes that nice shot, almost gets it in the top corner. She seems so nice in her interview, doesn't she? Just so nice.
Very nice, and also all business.
That's right, and all tenacity out there is great.
Great to see some of her progression as well. Last year, 13 matches, had 2 goals and 2 assists, now up on 7 goals, and this is her 14th appearance of the season. Lauren Rowe has really taken a big jump here from year 1 to 2.
Absolutely, and last month, Player of the Month. She's, for me, just improved consistently every game. And Hunter and her are working so well together, bringing out the best in one another. You especially notice when, you know, Hunter does one movement, so if she comes off the back line, coming to the ball, then Rowe does a really good job of kind of signaling out that space and running into it.
Hunter takes the ball away. Top of the penalty area here. Uttenberg, left boot, and another one that's floated just wide of the post. Saw Corey Babington earlier there, and got to be a tough spot here for the acting head coach here today in his first match in charge.
Absolutely, a really tough one to step into, but this is nice play from Hunter. And again, we talked about Rowe. So she comes off the front, and Rowe actually does a really good job to bring this back line. She runs really hard at the back line, creating a little pocket of space that Uttenberg's able to come into and take that shot.
Good run forward here from Nyota Katembo, and Boy, it's just ball after ball. That one from distance from Katembo.
And you see she puts her hand up there. She could have potentially threaded a pass through, but I always kind of like it when the players try to, this is coming from a goalkeeper, try to catch the goalkeeper out.
You're watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. 4 first-half goals from AFC Toronto.
Go to a mass in front.
Zadorsky. I know you've been a big fan of her play. 119 caps for Canada as well. Brings a tremendous amount of experience, not just in the international game, but also playing club football in Europe for so long. AFC Toronto could be a real threat going forward. 10 points back of Ottawa on the table, so there is work to do there. This is a team that's trending up.
I agree. And I think if I could be critical of Toronto, I think their first number of games, they just looked like they were missing a bit of a fire. Again, structurally sound, but just kind of, I can't even put my finger on it, but since Dorsey's come into, to the squad, and D'Angelo, like, there seems to be a bit more fight.
Rowe and Nikki Small here as AFC Toronto continues to press for more goals. Great footwork from Small. Ball is in there. Novak had a beat on it, but it was deflected away just in time. Here's Zadorsky. Try from distance. And off of a head there from Frederic St. Jean. How about this footwork here from Kayla Small?
Yes, fantastic. She makes sure the defender bites and then sees that moment of imbalance. It takes the touch past her. But what I like about it is she's composed and patient and trying to find that cutback pass, but well done by Calgary to defend it.
Tough spot for Kaylee Books coming off the bench
yes,
into the second half.
Welcome.
Deal with this.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
So a good header from St. Jean sends Victoria Pickett to the corner flag. 6th corner of the match here for AFC Toronto. Headed back towards goal. Sent away by O'Neill. Didn't get a lot of distance on that though. Collected again by AFC Toronto. Here's Zadorsky. Barnett. Has Pickett nearby.
It's a little bit better from Calgary. We have to keep getting the lineup, make sure they're not just sitting in their box waiting for cross after cross.
Ball is up and again headed away by St. Jean. Almost like the memo for AFC coming out of halftime here is no mercy.
Yeah.
They have been on the front foot since the second half kick.
And that was one of Marko Milanovic's biggest goals going into this game. He said, I want us to be a team that was always on the front foot and start strong. So they've done that already in the second half.
Now we'll have a free kick here as Boughton takes down Lauren Rowe. Another set piece opportunity here for AFC Toronto.
Calgary needs to continue to keep their composure in those moments. These set pieces can be very costly, especially from, we've got Barnett of the ball, who's been fantastic on set pieces as of late.
Jones with a good header there, does concede a corner. So Barnett will go from the set piece and see the win from the corner flag there. It's a breezy one. Into the penalty area again. Struck towards goal. O'Neill sends that away and Bockham does the rest.
It's great defending from O'Neill. I think Calgary sometimes is in the right position, but they have to do that last final step of pressure to get nice and close. Sometimes they're about a foot away, which is giving Toronto the opportunity to take those shots. So making sure they really finish off the job, get nice and close.
Katembo looking for a way through. Small, the follow-up flag does come up. Every Calgary defender was ready for that. There's the little tuck in the back of the goal there. We saw the shot from one of the Calgary players in the first half, and this time draws the ire of the crowd.
Yeah, yellow card for Hunter there, kicking it after the call has been made.
Yeah, it is indeed a yellow card there. It's a keen eye on your part.
Yeah.
You knew that one was coming. Well, had 3 braces last year, has 1 today. Probably has her eyes on the hat trick.
I'm sure. Young and eager. She seems so hungry. But what a treat to watch.
Two hat tricks last year, 1 this year. Evelyn Badu had the 3rd career hat trick, and well, knowing the play is offside, just decided to put it away just in case.
AFC Toronto yellow card received by
So
number
Hunter
11,
picking up
Kaylee
her
Hunter.
3rd caution of the season. So ball away from Talbot. O'Neill being tracked by Hunter here.
And that's just nice urgency from Toronto in the back. See how quickly they drop off to make sure they kind of negate any of that space behind their back line, but then get up so quickly.
O'Neill into the middle. Boughton. Plays into the wide area again and sent forward. I'm seeing Sonia O'Neill up in more of that advanced role here for Calgary. Do you like their organization here, down a player? Do they look regrouped here in your mind?
Yeah, they kind of look like a 4-5, to be honest, but they're kind of a 4-4-1. Baucom's kind of, you know, in charge of that middle space, aware of Uttenberg, it seems like. So last game, they really sat back. They are sitting back, but I think where Toronto's getting some joy is if they're able to switch the ball a little bit quickly. They've had a little bit of success with that to continue to try to do that. But Toronto is still, I think, doing a good job staying tight, staying together. They're going to have to, you know, keep doing that for the rest of the half.
Another ball that the Wild win back. Jones and St. Jean. And it's away from Michaela Moore. Attenberg looking for space. Nyota Katembo. As AFC Toronto once again settles in, looking for 5th.
And we discussed before the game, this is where Toronto thrives, right? Look how high they're getting. Pickett and Shadorski pinging off any ball they want, and Rollins in this situation just nice and in control.
Into the penalty area again. Some good footwork from that Calgary back line. St. Jean getting a toe on that.
Good front post positioning from her.
Into the wide areas here, ball in, and Talbot forced to make a good save off of Lauren Rowe. Got a key touch that at the near post.
And this is great from Barnett. This is exactly what Milanovic wants from his wingbacks, getting high up as possible. And then Toronto was just doing a really good job of actually finding players. This is a big shift from last game. Just even the quality, picking out people instead of just trying to hit areas.
Another corner. Pickett into the penalty area, and it's headed in by Sarah Rollins, the center back, in on the goal scoring, and it is 5 for AFC Toronto.
Fantastic finish from Rollins. Look at that smile.
First career NSL goal.
There it is, number 1.
Not much doubt about this one.
But for me, this from Calgary is just a little bit too easy, right? There's a player amongst their zonals, and it's just about getting to the ball first. For me, Michaela Moore can attack that ball, or there needs to be some communication. Rollins does a great job, kind of just in the way, and is able to get there and put it away.
36th career NSL appearance today for Rollins, and Jill, that goal meant something special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, AFC Toronto's goal-scoring record from last year is 7. Big 7-0 win over Vancouver. That is in play here today. They want to keep going on the goals, and so far the signs that we've seen, no letting up.
They could beat it. There's a chance.
Tough position here for the Calgary Wild, but you want to have a good final 30 minutes here to set up a good performance in the W Canadian Championship match on Wednesday against CS Montreal Outremont here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that they're still trying to keep possession. They're trying to create. And to be fair, the possession statistics after the first half, you know, it was 60-40. It wasn't totally a landslide. So I think Calgary, they want to be a team that's in possession. So why not now, right? These are the moments where you're down anyway. Let's try to be brave on the ball. Let's try to complete more passes and be the team that they eventually want to turn into.
Leah Blaney away from the team today, but what do you think the biggest element here is over the final half of the season is to try and get Calgary back on track?
Well, I think that you could definitely see that they're focusing on their defensive principles. I think kind of, you know, how they want to be in possession. You know, there's a lot of teams that defend for big moment, you know, a large part of the game, and they're looking for those attacking transitional moments. And this, you know, this is common for a lot of teams around the world, and Calgary has definitely shown signs of that. So is that the kind of team they want to be for the rest of the season? Are they looking to maintain the possession a little bit more, move teams through their possession? I think for them, just, you know, it's going to be about Blaney meeting the team where they're at, but also as much as she can, imposing the type of identity she wants on Calgary for the remainder of the season.
Calgary's 14th game of the season. And same with AFC Toronto.
I love this from Zadorsky. You can hear her screaming, hold, hold. Keeping the line organized. You generally have a center back or a leader in charge of the line and making sure you're dropping at exactly the same time.
Ball here to Tilly James. Back to goal here. We'll try and stay in possession. Small and Katembo, though, having other ideas. Ball stays nicely in, though, for Boughton. Moore again. Ball forward. Zadorsky's header. And again, just too many numbers for AFC Toronto.
Then I think Calgary in that situation can move the ball a little bit more space on the opposite side. Toronto has numbers on the right side, so Moore can switch it, find a little bit more space. Even to get them, you know, have a little bit more possession gives them a chance to breathe and kind of reset.
Rollins, AFC Toronto's recent goal scorer. Ball ahead here, Hunter, already on 2 goals. And this time St. Jean takes her off the dribble.
But this is one area that I think Hunter does a really good job of, just recognizing when any of the defenders are a little bit pulled forward or there's a little pocket of space. And it's so nice to have players like Rollins and Zadorsky and Pickett that can pick those balls out and are able to play over the top.
Ball sent into touch. And how much can a win like this, or a scoreline like this, of course, still just under half an hour to go. Always room for a miracle in football, of course.
Of course.
But how much can a scoreline like this and a performance like this, that's the word I'm looking for AFC Toronto, how much can that really turn their season around into some of the ups and downs and consistencies and goal scoring to a decisive second half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think last season they were very dominant. And this season we're looking at a very different league, right? I think there are more clear identities from different teams, and maybe Toronto's taken a little bit longer to come into form and into stride, but they've stuck to their principles. And like I said, now they have the players, I think, that play the way that Milanovic always wanted for this system. So the aggression, excuse me, that they're playing with, like they're really, the way that they're playing, the movement has been there, but they've been just kind of missing that final fire or whatever you want to call it, and it's here. So now they can
say today
it's
they brought
here,
the
man. It
flamethrower.
is here. They've got it, right? But it's important, like, to make sure that you continue to build on these performances, and they have different players also in the lineup, which is super important. One of the big things that most teams have been focusing on is depth. Two players per position is kind of the goal. And so in situations like this, to not necessarily have all your normal starters on the field and to be able to come out with a result like this is really important for the team.
Been convincing so far from Marko Milanovic's side. Next game, August the 9th in Ottawa to take on the top of the table Rapid. Go ahead and circle that one quickly.
Yeah. I do get excited for all the games. I do have to say.
Yep. Ball into the penalty area again. More trouble. Here's Rowe, and goes off the side netting here. As AFC Toronto looking for its 6th goal of the day. So instead of the 6th goal, we're going to have a couple of changes here, and the triple substitution. And that was Rowe's final action here, Aaron, as she comes off. Lena Solano, who played 26 minutes in her NSL debut, will come on. Olivia Chisholm also there. And April Lantain has been a regular, mainly off the bench this year for AFC Toronto. So a triple change. Chance to see some young players here as well.
Yeah, and Toronto, again, another team with a lot of depth. And a lot of, like, yes, young players, but have just become, main players in their squad. The last play by Small was just fantastic. The pass that she's able to thread through to Rowe. For me, Small is another player, now the captain of the team, just grown so much from last season. Again, one thing she's focused on is that proactive defending, and intercepting balls, which seems to be quite a theme with Toronto.
Ball played into space. Solano quickly taken off pace there as Calgary defends that well. Markham tries to give it back to Maya Jones. Intercepts. That one intercepted though, and quickly into touch. First ball for Lantain. 20 years old from Ajax, Ontario. Speaking of youth, Olivia Chisholm won't be 18 until December.
Wow.
And already her 12th appearance of the season.
This is so much better from Toronto. Just see how they have players in between the lines, but they're constantly changing their movements, which is really causing a lot of problems for Calgary. Even though they're really, really tight, they're constantly moving, which is just causing them, like I said, those moments of decisions that you're trying to create for defenders.
AFC Toronto with 19 attempts, 8 on target, and 5 goals on the day. And Calgary, who went down a player midway through the first half, just has the 2 attempts and 1 on target. now into the 69th minute, leads us to our hydration break presented by Powerade, an extended hydration break today due to the hot temperatures. Also, halftime was extended by about 5 or so minutes here as well.
What's your favorite color Powerade?
Oh, wow. I mean, blue is the
Wasn't
classic.
expecting that.
Yes,
Yeah, it
no,
is.
I love it. I love a good curveball, Aaron, as you know that.
You're welcome, Matt.
You know that. Blue is the classic, but you know.
Are there other flavors for Powerade? I can only remember blue. There's got to be.
That'd be red and yellow.
Okay. I don't mind me a little fruit punch, you know, every once in a while. What is the blue flavor? It's like cool. Is that what
Maybe
it is?
a berry, mixed berry, I want to say. A lot of practice, though.
Thank you.
Let's listen in here and see if we can catch a few words.
It's 2 separate.
Two corners, 7 on free kicks from distance.
Do you want me to mark anybody because she's not really going up? No.
Well, just match. Like if there's somebody there, leave Chloe on more because she's been on her the whole game. But Moore's not looks like she might not even come up.
Yeah.
Keep it up, keep it up.
So just make sure we're matched up. Okay.
I don't know if it's a bit hot. Is there anyone water that actually tastes like water?
Yeah, wait, I got to try this. They're all water.
Water that tastes like water.
After all the waters. It's not our bottle. It's a Calgary bottle.
Do they know we're listening?
Some insights there in terms of positioning. Also, Rollins there wondering about how far she can maybe push up the pitch.
That's right.
Got a taste of the goals. Why not maybe a little more?
Absolutely.
Looks like a change has come in. We heard the 4th official as well, Mathieu Suare, signaling that there won't be a hat trick today for Kaylee Hunter. 18-year-old coming out of the match here with Mia Fontana coming in. Played in the late stages on Tuesday in the final minute plus stoppage time. And yeah, you're right. Uttenberg does look pretty warm now. That's a full wrap in terms of the towel, the ice towel.
Pack full of ice there.
And here's a look at Kaylee Hunter's work here today since she is coming out of the match. In for a couple of goals here today. Here's the first one.
Yeah, and this is, again, like, love the connection between Rowe and Hunter, but always keep an eye on Hunter's movement. She often does a counter movement beforehand, and she's really good at kind of going onto the blind side of players and adjusting her run. Makes her really hard to defend. And here she does a good job. Again, it's not perfectly placed in the corner, but she hits it with enough power that even though Talbot gets a couple of hands on it, she's not able to make the save. Fantastic performance from Hunter.
Returning to her hometown of Calgary, Alberta, and certainly had one she will remember today. And here is the official change. High fives all around for Hunter, who is now just 1 goal back. Mentioned that in the first half as well. Bennett and DB Pridham have got to maybe have an eye on the rearview mirror here with Hunter challenging now for the lead in goals.
So many goals this season. It's been very exciting.
8 goals is the shared lead at the moment. Bennett was in on the goals in the 4-3 win over Vancouver. High scoring affair in that one. Of course, last year's reigning MVP and Golden Boot leader, DB Pridham, being challenged by the Rookie of the Year last year with Hunter.
Another player I love to watch. Her movement is similar to Hunter, to be honest. She's very smart about the first movement and then the second movement to receive the ball or go in behind. Makes it very challenging to mark someone. And that counter movement gives them that foot of space, which enables them to get a shot off, the pass off. And that's what you're always trying to strive for, is a little bit more time and space. Because even I look pretty good on the ball when I've got time and space.
All right, all right. Teasing something there for us?
Yeah, I'm coming back as a midfielder, Matt.
Yeah, there we go. Change
Here
of position.
Spoiler alert.
All right. Hey, listen. Why not? There's room for everything here. I mean, we love you in the booth here. We love you in the booth. But
yeah. My joints appreciate the booth a little bit more, I think, than on the pitch.
AFC Toronto corner here in the 74th minute. Looking like we're going to have a Calgary change here in a moment. But Barnett will head back to the flag. Now wearing the captain's armband.
Just a bit more focus for Calgary. Sometimes being in a tight zone is kind of harder, right? You don't know whose responsibility is what. So just making sure that they're attacking the ball as much as they can.
Rollins parked right in front, just like last time. This time into the penalty area. Solano's header pops up. Second chance. And foul is given. His third didn't quite get a good piece of that ball, but Calgary survives that latest corner. And here is the latest change here from the home side. Robertson coming into the match here. Janaea Robertson hasn't been in the match day squad over the last couple of weeks. Will come in for Boughton.
I think Robertson is a good player for them, hardworking, brave on the ball, wants to keep possession. And, at this point, I'm sure Boughton, I'm sure the legs for a lot of players on Calgary are a little bit tired. So good to get some fresh legs in there.
Zadorsky on the ball, Rollins. More pressure here from AFC Toronto.
Just fantastic ball.
Down to the wide area here as well. That one struck into the side netting though.
And Toronto finding more and more joy, as we talked about, like just being in between those lines. And even there, they're doubling up. So, the passes coming through again in those pockets of space that are Calgary Wild is having to kind of step to the ball, which is opening other pockets of space. So if they can continue to just exist between lines, they're going to continue to create problems for Calgary.
Quarter of an hour to go here at McMahon Stadium.
That is the worst when you don't know where it went.
Hot sun today, providing a few extra challenges. All played back to Moore, able to try and find a way out of trouble.
And Toronto does a good job of repressing. As soon as they lose the ball, they're very active to get numbers around and try to win it back again. So as Calgary wins it, they have to be mindful of making sure that they have passing options right away to switch out of those pockets of pressure.
James right on Lantain. Lantain goes down. Play continues on. Bockham taken off the stride out from Fontana. Every ball that Calgary seems to win back, there's pressure right away. That time Solano went down top of the penalty area. This is a goal kick though this time. You said ideally you want to have a player, two players for every position. Those good opportunity here for some of the players off the bench here for AFC Toronto to get a good run in and show the coaching staff what they have.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with the cup game coming up, and this is one common trend we're finding in all the teams, just being so deliberate about growing depth in positions, but also trying to make your players more versatile. And we've seen such a shift in the game that, before we had very structured formations, but especially in possession, you'll see less and less of structured formations, a lot more movement and interplay. So having versatile players and soccer IQ to complement that is really important with the modern game.
Here's a run here for Calgary Wild. Jones pushes this off into the penalty area, and that one met quickly. Now back goes back to Uttenberg. And Lantain.
As we're attacking there, we need to squeeze up.
listen on AFC Toronto earlier this time. Corey Babington, give us a little insight there.
I was gonna say, they're trying to get up in possession.
Final substitution here for AFC Toronto. Buttenberg coming out of the match with Sarah Stratigakis coming in for the final 12 odd minutes.
Nothing like Stratigakis coming in the 78th minute. Speaking of depth in a team.
Definitely a few spots on the pitch now for AFC Toronto where there is some depth, a lot of experience, some international experience.
Absolutely.
Stratigakis does have 5 caps internationally for Canada. First touch here for Stratigakis. Ball into the middle, Pickett and Rollins, and once again AFC Toronto hunting for their 6th. Novak's ball quickly turned away. Talbert.
And I think Calgary, I mean, obvious, but just when they win the ball, can they be better options for one another instead of, you know, rushing that pass and giving it right back to Toronto? Just a little bit more composure on the regains.
Novak, tricky little shot there, forcing Talbert to come over to the post and concede a corner. So back to the corner flag we go here again for AFC Toronto. Corner of the day. Pickett could hear it, didn't love it off the foot.
I was going to say, I think that was Pickett.
But second chance. Novak will try from distance. Saw that curler earlier from Barnett and trying to replicate that.
I think a lot, you're seeing Toronto getting a lot of those shots at the top of the box. Calgary is sinking, and their whole team is almost sinking to like one straight line. They have to remember to keep the, you know, their banks of 4 at least, so that they can apply pressure at the top of the box. They've had a few, Toronto's had a lot of open shots there, so just making sure they don't all collapse into one line.
All right, Aaron, Coach Lasso, is he coming back? Well, you better believe it. The new season premieres August the 5th, and I know you're very excited for this.
Oh my God, believe. No, I love Ted Lasso.
Touch the sign on top of the door.
That's right, that's right. I was like, does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got some fans in the house.
Absolutely. Any expectations here for the new season?
I mean, it's a women's team.
Yeah.
So I'm already happy about that. Yeah. Hannah Waddington.
All right.
She's a boss. So I will watch anything with her in it. So that's all I need. And, you know, I'm all about the cheesy good vibes. So right. Ted Lasso's definitely my jam. And you?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm actually in the midst of rewatching it here just to try and get up to speed here.
He's prepping.
Doing our best here anyway. I often get criticized by some of our co-analysts here about my lack of pop culture references. little rigid in that department.
All right.
A little cold, so doing my best to get back into it.
Always a chance to grow.
Yeah.
You know?
That's my blind spot. Growth opportunities here.
Love it.
Saw the latest change there with Keelan Stewart come into the match. Saw her twin Tegan start the match. Back-to-back appearances for 18-year-old Keelan. Played 10 minutes in Toronto. That was Calgary's final change there with Jones coming out. So a little more in the midfield here for Calgary to their credit have settled in and have limited the opportunities over the last 20 or so minutes.
Absolutely. Maybe not the most fun game for them or second half for them to play, but they have been very organized. They're really managing the space as well. Toronto's going around, but occasionally finding some joy through Calgary, but not very much. And there you can see O'Neill trying to get the lines up.
You mentioned earlier from year 1 to year 2, and of course you were on the pitch in year 1 with Halifax, some of the identities that you feel have become a little bit stronger there. Where AFC Toronto have really solidified things identity-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a team that wants to be in possession, but they want to defend and possess the ball really high up in the opposing end, right? Like even this is Shalina Zajorsky just winning the ball, a center back. And you're seeing this more and more with a lot of, with all genders, the way that they're playing, their rest defense. So basically the back three are pressing really high up. So anytime they regain, they're down the opposition's throats. And I think Toronto's doing a really good job of this and finding those pockets of space with aggressive wingbacks. So if I'm talking about Toronto, they're aggressive, front-footed, a team that wants to defend in the opposing half, and and I think just some of their creation, their movement continues to get better, I think, with some of their opposite movement and how they're breaking down the opposition.
Another corner here in the 85th minute. Calgary last year had 9 wins, missed the playoffs by 7 points. This year, of course, hasn't gone according to plan, looking at their 14th straight here without a win. But I know you're encouraged in terms of some of that identity, because it's not easy to try and get this back on track.
No, but they've had an influx of a number of new players, and I think having a new coach, like they're getting a lot of the things in the right place. Like we talked about, anytime you take over a team that's been losing, you're gonna focus on defensive principles, defensive organization, and you can already see a shift in all of them in that space, right? And set pieces, unfortunately, they gave that one up today. The little habits of knowing where the ball is, where the person is, like these are things that Blaney talked about. We have to get back to the basics, the fundamentals, making sure we have those habits. So I do think they're making strides. It'll be probably hard for them to go back, to the classroom and review this game. But it's also a challenging time to have a new coach and to try to shift your identity a little bit this part of the season.
That ball came up and caught Mia Fontana right in the face. And she is going to need some repairs.
Oh.
Close range.
That hurts.
Kaylee Books reached out right after there, coming over with a tap on the back.
Yeah. And this has been a big shift, I think, in the game in general, is anytime you're hit, whether it's a head collision or a ball, almost immediately, the referee blows the whistle, making sure that players are okay. So often in the past, concussions and any head trauma and injuries have been overlooked. So I think it's always smart to just stop the play and just make sure that the player is okay.
Chance for Calgary here to talk things over as Fontana continues to receive treatment. AFC Toronto has really been a strong side away this year. 5 wins, a draw, and just 1 single loss. Just have the 1 win at home so far this year, but this is a team that's been doing some damage on the road.
One of many. We'll see.
We shall see. Where does you think that comes from there? A team that, is it just getting away, being in the group, traveling well, eating well?
I do think when you're on the road, it's good and bad. Like sometimes you can get cabin fever, but I do think it is a really good opportunity to be connected as a group, to make sure you're getting the right food, to make sure you're getting the right recovery and the sleep, and it's, I think, just easier to do. Do I want an ice bath? No, but if I'm doing it with 10 other people, then okay. You know what I mean? It makes it a little bit easier.
Yep.
You tell a lot of interesting stories in the ice bath.
Okay. Especially if you got, 10, 12 people in there.
That's true.
It's a chilly
More
affair.
like a pool, a nice pool.
A nice pool.
You know?
Well, I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I would say that ice bath is probably going to be the order of the day here after this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hot one here in Calgary, and that's one way to cool off quickly.
Absolutely. Well, and just the number of games that are happening in a short amount of time too, and tack on the travel. So it's really demanding for the body, and rehydrating. It is. I felt, especially my last year as a 42-year-old, I felt like all I did was recover, but it is so important.
Let's wind this back here. This was earlier on in the Colby Barnett goal here. This is the curler that made it 4-0.
So pretty. Just so pretty. And you can just see James there, like, because of the way that she's putting pressure on, she can't change direction fast enough, so Barnett's able to take that space and just hit a really nice shot.
All part of a 4-goal first half here for AFC Toronto. Sarah Rollins on a header, their first career NSL goal, and it was a decisive one. Found a pocket around 4 defenders and just powered it in to make it 5 for AFC Toronto. Rollins' goal, though, in the 59th minute, so Calgary has really been able to bunker down. It's third and slow to get up here. And that's the last thing that Calgary needs with a game midweek is more injuries. Already without a few key players here today.
But again, good pressure here, good numbers around the ball from Calgary. And Toronto just continue to make sure tempo in the ball and try to move this block as much as possible.
4 minutes of stoppage time from Mathieu Soare, the 4th official. AFC Toronto right on the cusp of winning its 5th match in the last 7. Top of the penalty area, striking on goal, and it is finished off into the bottom of the goal from Kyla Novak. And it is 6 on the day for AFC Toronto.
Great finish by Novak. Puts it in the bottom corner. Talbert's fully outstretched, but just some nice intricate play here. The give and go, impossible to keep track of your player. Again, that little pocket of space I talked about in front of the back line, just needing Calgary to actually step to the ball. So Novak does a great job to just find the bottom corner, hit it first time.
Another left footer.
I know.
Novak with her 2nd career NSL goal, scored her 1st here in Calgary. So something about the Wild brings the best part out of her game. Pretty good finish for the London, Ontario native.
I was going to say better ball movement from Calgary. Unfortunate, it goes under James' foot there.
Trying to finish on a high here, the Wild. Just doing a little bit of quick math here as well. First time this year the team has scored 6.
Wow.
They had a 5-2 Ottawa win over Calgary, and also a 5-1 Roses win over the Vancouver Rise, but this one right now going down as the biggest win of the season. Lantain, off the bottom of the bar.
What a strike.
Back into the middle. That was close to tying the NSL record for goals. Another left boot, boom.
What a quick release on that shot too. Oh man.
That's got to be
strike.
The worst feeling for the keeper. Talbot just planted there. This one diving out for, but all she did was just look behind.
I was going to say,
hope.
Isn't it the best feeling when you hear that sound, I think. But you're right.
Can't go barring in, though, as we saw earlier on the penalty.
That's true.
They're not always your friend.
That's right. That's actually
unfortunately
today not been on her side. But
that one, yes.
Yes. She was due, you know? But what a strike.
Power and precision there from Lantain. So Calgary in a tough spot today. And AFC Toronto, playing the back end of a home and home, came in. This was a business trip.
Definitely a business trip.
Might not be done here. This one goes for a goal kick though. Calgary will have to dig deep, hopefully get some players healthy for the W Canadian Championship game on Wednesday.
Yeah, it is, again, another quick turnaround, again, affected by the heat, but I think these are, the games, if I'm Calgary, you kind of move past some games, you know, you just kind of move forward.
Burn the tape?
That's right. Let's not even go to the classroom, you know.
Okay.
And just focus on the next game.
And that is the end. 90 minutes in the books from Calgary. It's a big win for AFC Toronto, who have now won 3 in a row for the first time this year. And for the Calgary Wild, 14 straight matches without a win to open up this season. This one, though, in convincing fashion, a brace from Kaylee Hunter, who now has 7 goals on the year. Colby Barnett scored a beautiful curler. All part of this big AFC Toronto. Sarah Rollins getting in on it as well with a header off of a corner. First career NSL goal for the center back. And Novak, who also was in on the goals with a left boot finish to make it 6-0 in the second half. High-powered offense from AFC Toronto, who now close the gap between themselves and Montreal to just 3 points for second in the table. Kate, Aaron, and JC on the other side to wrap it up from Calgary.
I think being from Calgary means everything. I love that city. It means the whole world to me, so being able to play pro at home is just the greatest gift ever. I think my favorite part about playing home games in Calgary is when I'm flying up the wing and I hear little girls or parents or just friends and family like chanting my name. I think it's really just rewarding knowing that you're appreciated. I want to put on a good show for my friends and family and for all the people that come out to support us, but less pressure because Calgary is just such a forgiving place. So I know no matter what happens, like the city always has our back.
Cross gets in. And it's in the back of the net.
What do you remember about the goal? What do you remember about the moment?
Yeah, it was my first professional goal as a total, so super sweet. It wasn't a pretty goal, that's for sure. It went kind of straight off the bridge of my nose, but a goal's a goal. I'll count it as a header, and it was just surreal. My best friend was there, my family was there, so it was a moment I'll never forget.
On the pitch, you see the intensity she brings, and she brings that every day on training. She's always loud. You can hear her from across the field, but off the field, I do think she does a really good job of making everyone feel included, and she has that high social battery where she can make sure like the team is all meshing together and bringing that energy off the field as well.
I took a lot of pride in, I think everyone's kind of said, starting this and being a part of the start of it, and I think it's special for me that I am Calgarian. You know, I want to leave an impact on this league, whether I'm here for forever or just a short period of time, and I love it, so I can't complain. But yeah, moving forward, it's just, this is the place where I want to be and I love to be, so can't thank this league enough. Growing up, we didn't have that, especially in Canada, and it's really cool to see even now just the feedback from parents, moms, dads, their children, just saying how lucky they feel that their kid has someone to look up to. I hope they leave knowing that they have a role model.
This Northern Super League match is brought to you by Toyota, proud founding partner of the NSL. And by Canadian Tire, proud founding partner of the NSL. Welcome back to the NSL on TSN. As Matt Cullen said, a successful business trip for AFC Toronto, a 6-0 win over Calgary. Kaylee Hunter with a pair of goals, Lauren Rowe, Colby Barnett, Sarah Rollins, Kyla Novak, and absolutely Calgary, a challenging night for them, certainly a moment of solidarity for them as they gather on the pitch after what was a challenging afternoon. Here are the stats at full time, and they really do reflect Toronto's dominance. Take a look at the total shots. 24 shots for Toronto tonight, and they pumped 21 shots against Calgary when they faced off earlier this week. So a dominant two-match performance from them. Kate McKenna and Aaron McLeod with you back in studio. And Aaron, you said that Toronto really found their joy in this match. And I think Sarah Rollins did too when she scored early in the second half. Her first ever NSL goal. It was our Toyota Electric play of the match. What did you like about it?
Well, I have so much respect for Rollins. I think she's been one of the best defenders arguably in the league this season. But one thing I've really noticed, in possession and her attacking play has really improved. So the icing on the cake in this situation, first of all, she's here. And while, she's in the middle of these three players, no one really takes credit or puts any pressure on her. So she's able to finish this. But she's able to finish this. And look how much joy is on her face. She's someone who's continually striving to be better and better all the time. Marko Milanovic talks about how she never rests. She's always looking to improve. And so I'm just really happy for her.
I imagine she's happy too, but let's hear from her. She's pitch side with JC Solomon.
Sarah, such a dominant win from you and your team. How's this group feeling after this one?
We're pretty ecstatic right now, honestly. We've on a bit of a roll now, and we're keeping the energy up, and we just want to keep this rolling.
3 clean sheets in a row, and then the ability to produce from the back end all the way to the front end. What worked well for you guys tonight?
Honestly, it was just full team effort and full team, everyone going, everybody giving 100%. From back to front is really what did it.
And head coach Marko Milanovic spoke really highly of you and your technical skills. Can you talk to me a little bit about your relationship with him and what you've been working on?
Honestly, Marko teaches every individual skill that has got me to where I am right now. He really just focuses on every single person and growing you as a player and as an individual and not just as a team. So that really helps me a lot. And yeah, he's tough, but he gives you a lot of confidence and gives you opportunities and allows you to shine.
Thank you, Sarah. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Sarah Rollins, a U Sports product, an outstanding career at UBC. And as a U Sports alum, I'm always happy to shout out that system. But let's pivot, Aaron. I want to pick your goalkeeper brain. Caitlin Talbert, she has faced so many shots, game in and game out, does not have a win to show for it. And the schedule is a difficult one. Wednesday, the quarterfinal of the Canadian Championship. Calgary then visits Vancouver on Saturday. It doesn't get easier. If you're Talbert, how do you show up mentally game in, game out when this is what you're faced with?
Well, goalkeeping is not always the easiest position, but I think one thing that we could definitely say is she's always giving her best effort. Like, she's getting on the end of some of these incredible shots. You saw that today, and Talbert 2 months ago wasn't, right? So we can already see the progress in her game. At the end of the day, when you're a goalkeeper, you want to be on the team that gets the most shots if you're looking for that individual development. And we've seen, I think, huge strides in Talbert and her game. So for me, if I'm Talbot, continuing to go into these games, just always reflecting on what happened, how the goals went in, how can I continue to improve, but also coming back to your why. And you know me, I love to lay on the cheese, but it is, why you do it, the thrill of a save, and just to be able to play in this league, she's made comments about that, and that's really what it's all about. Obviously, you want to win, but at the end of the day, showing up and be able to do what you love, I think, is a gift.
It's so well said, Aaron, and I love that you said that as we see her signing autographs there. That is the why, right? When little girls and boys and people can show up and cheer on their hometown side in a match at home. Let's check out the standings now and see how things have changed given this result. Ottawa continues to set the pace atop the NSL standings with 31 points. But listen, the race is far from over. Montreal sits 4 points back, while AFC Toronto right there in third, now just 7 points off the lead. Listen, if you don't have plans Monday, you do now, because it's our NSL watch party live on YouTube at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll be streaming Ottawa versus Halifax, which doubles as the quarterfinal of the W Canadian Championship. The Signa Butler will have the call. Aaron and I will be hanging out in studio, and come hang out with us on the live chat. It's a nice time.
Oh my gosh, write us.
As for this afternoon, there's Kaylee Hunter. Calgary native showing up in her hometown. A decisive 6-0 victory for AFC Toronto, their third win in a row. Goalkeeper Sabrina D'Angelo with her third straight clean sheet, too. And Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter becoming the highest scoring duo in the NSL. From all of us here, everyone on the broadcast team, I'm Kate McKenna. See you next time.